have my new awesome mug. I love it so freaking much. Gideon got it for me for my Halloween present. What, you guys don't get Halloween presents? Peppermint mocha today. So good. I really felt like this was the perfect coffee mug to talk about today's subject because we are going back to some archetypes. Today we are going to do another archetype that's in the court. So we've done the king and the queen and the knight and the princess dash damsel in distress. And today we are going to talk about the magician alchemist. So sometimes people refer to this archetype as just the magician. Carolyn Myss refers to this archetype as the alchemist, but they are one and the same. So should we start with the shadow or the light? Let's actually start with the light of this one. And I'm just going to refer to this as the magician. The magician is the person who can take a deep intellectual understanding and create manifestation from it. They are a combination of a lot of other archetypes. They have some visionary in there. They're very intuitive, very intelligent. This is an extremely intelligent archetype. They are interested in how to take things from the mind and from physical reality and blend them together. They nowadays are often interested in some of the more esoteric arts, like actual alchemy. There are some real alchemists, like the art of transformation, hypnotherapy, astrology, even astronomy. A lot of the, the more taboo, I've got my Ouija cup, some of the more occult type things. Also, a lot of magician archetypes are interested in that. I don't think I've ever known a hypnotherapist, especially a male hypnotherapist for some reason, that was not also the magician archetype. They are usually charismatic and very interesting, very knowledgeable, okay? And also another type of vocation for magician archetype is salesman. They're good at knowing what speaks to people and what people want and then helping them get that when they're in the light with it. They will help people figure out how to make their dreams a reality. So think about the way that the alchemist is used in, fiction and fairy tales. They're turning something, a base metal, into gold. So the magician alchemist can take something and add it to something else and add it to something else and make something really precious and beautiful out of it. Now, if you think about in the court, this is Merlin, right? This is Merlin the magician who could do all sorts of tricks, but also true alchemy. Yes, peppermint mocha. Perfect for this day. You can't see it, but it's pretty rainy, cold, windy day out there. Let's talk about the shadow of the magician. I'll be honest with you guys, the shadow of the magician is something I really have struggled with in certain people I've known in my life. I don't like this shadow one single bit. Some of the shadows I kind of don't mind. This one I have a really hard time with because it's shady as shit. It's secret. It's a lot of secrecy, a lot of half-truths, a lot of illusion. You can even think of the magician as like a stage magician, right? Who's up there doing tricks. Now, it's one thing if you know they're doing tricks. It's another thing if you trust them So this would be in the shadow, this would be maybe like a used car salesman who promises you the world, and you think that they're going to help you figure out your situation and get you what you need, but instead they trick you and you go home and the car falls apart. Or this is the healer that you work with who promises you the world, or the coach, but then they don't really follow through. They don't do what they say they're going to do. And then they make it seem like it was your fault. Okay, so part of the shadow of the magician alchemist is actually gaslighting. But there's a lot of sketchiness to it, a lot of like a lack of transparency. You don't know what you can and can't trust here. You don't know what is illusion and what is fact. Trying to think of another example of this shadow. Actually, part of the shadow of the magician alchemist is actually a pretentiousness, a know-it-all, a superiority complex where they just are sure they know so much more than you do. Now, this may be true because, like I said, most of the people with this archetype have a high IQ. But they will use that against you if they're in the shadow with this one. So what is important to know if you have someone in your life who you can feel has this archetype is how you will know they are in the light with it is by how transparent they are, by how much they keep their word, like actually follow through on what they say they're going to do. And do they have your best interests at heart? What does evidence show? You really, really need to look past words with this archetype and look for evidence of how they are showing up in your life. Now, if you yourself have this archetype, it's very important that you stay transparent, that you don't give into that ego that, oh, but I know so much more than they do, but I'm so knowledgeable in this. Basically, the medicine for the shadow of the magician is humility, self-awareness, and transparency. This is a very, very profound and beautiful archetype when it's used correctly, when it's used to help pull people out of illusion, because you, as the magician, as the alchemist, can recognize illusion. When you take something that's not that great and use your gifts to make it amazing and beautiful, when you use it to take all sorts of concepts and write a book that other people can understand. So, I hope this is interesting to you. It's very interesting to me, this archetype, actually all the archetypes, but just notice who in your life has this. Are they in the shadow or the light with it? This isn't about judgment. This is literally about discernment. Or are you the one that with this archetype? As usual, I want to hear from you. Please comment on this video and let me know. Do you have this archetype? Do you know someone who does? And how has this played out for you? All right, you guys, we're going to be doing some more archetype work coming up. I'm excited about it because I have a couple I really want to address. May your coffee be strong and your life be blessed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. And if you would be interested in working with me further, you can check out DawniAngel.com. I would love to come speak to your group, come to your business to do a training, be on your podcast, my personal favorite, or even work with you one-on-one.